Hello and welcome to another episode of Devs on Tape. This time from Norway, from the OUGN conference in Oslo, ladies and gentlemen. On today's podcast, we are thrilled to welcome a true pioneer in the world of technology. She's already laughing. She is an accomplished entrepreneur and international speaker and a recognized expert in the field of database management. With over 25 years of experience in the industry, she has established herself as one of the most respected voices in the world of technology. As the CEO of Miracle Finland OY, a company that specializes in database management and data integration solutions, she has been the forefront of digital transformation that is sweeping across the world. She has helped countless organizations leverage the power of data to drive innovation and growth. And her insights have been sought after by businesses of all sizes. She is also an active member of the global technology community, serving as the president of the Finnish Oracle User Group and a board member of the International Oracle User Group. She has been recognized with numerous awards of her contributions in the industry, including the prestigious Oracle ACE Director Award. Today, we are honored to have she join us to the podcast to share her knowledge and insights on the latest trends in technology. She challenges facing the industry and the opportunities that lie ahead. So without further ado, let's dive in and welcome Heli. Oh, that's hard. Helskyaho.
Almost.
To the show. Hello, Heli.
Hi.
We stick to Heli, right?
Yes. Heli from Finland.
Heli from Finland.
Yes.
That's the way we can work with that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm very thrilled to talk to you today in the podcast episode. And yes, unfortunately, Caro didn't make it to Oslo, so we are just the two of us, and we have plenty of things to talk about. So maybe you can just introduce yourself besides my introduction to you, and tell us everything, where it starts, where did you start going into the technology branch, and everything about maybe your company Miracle Finland OY.
Well, first of all, I think it's a surprise to everybody that I am on IT, because that was not the plan.
Okay.
I never thought I would be on IT. It was not something that I even considered. So I was actually studying mathematics. So I was thinking I will study mathematics or economics. So I'm still actually studying economics. I haven't graduated from there yet. But I was studying mathematics, and then I took some minor courses on computer science, and they made no sense to me. I was like, come on, this can't be true. Because it felt so hard. And studying has always been easy to me. I always loved studying. I was like, this is so hard. How can it be? And I took another course and another course and another course until I finished all the minor courses. Mm-hmm. And then I was thinking, okay, I still don't understand this computer science. So I changed my major to computer science. Well, it was a funny conversation with a professor from mathematics, because he was like, Heli, are you sure? Because you are good in mathematics, but you are no good in computer science.
Yeah,
and
just in the courses. Yeah.
And you still want to change to computer science? I said, yes, I do, because I want to understand. There must be something in computer science. So I can't be this stupid. It has to be something that I don't understand yet.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was, because databases was my thing. Until that, it was like operating systems, networks. Oh my God, I still don't like them.
Yeah, sure, the basic stuff, right?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, but databases and data, that was something that I was like, oh, now I got it. This is what I want to do. Mm-hmm. So I graduated with a master's degree from computer science, and that's it.
And then you just open a new company, right?
Yeah.
Not directly, or was there some time between?
I was working for Oracle for a while, by the way, before this.
Didn't get this, no?
Yeah, so from Oracle, I started my own company in 2000, and that was called Kantamestarit. It means like base masters, so database masters, something like that. And we started that in 2000, and I worked for that for quite many years. I actually still have that company, but then I joined Miracle 2010.
Okay. So, and then the time starts when you were presenting at conferences, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, almost every schedule of a conference, I see Heli from Finland.
Yes.
just avoiding to say again.
That's
your
what
last
everybody
name, right?
says. Yeah. Actually, I started 2007. So when I started to be active in EOUC, the EMEA user community, so then I started speaking. My first presentation was in Croatia, the Croatian user group. And that's how it all started. I realized I really like this. So I have been teaching a lot.
Yeah.
So throughout my career, I have always been teaching. So I kind of like teaching. But I didn't really present in conferences until that.
Okay.
So 2007, and that's how it all started. Suddenly I was everywhere presenting because it was so much fun.
I was just thinking about what I did at on 2007. I don't think anything near IT stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right. And now you ended up writing numerous books, right? So my opinion on that is a little bit different, I think, because writing books in the IT is like writing text, getting everything in place, publish it, like print it, publish it, and then sell it, and everyone reads. And at the time of being, when this is ready and laying on my table, it's already outdated, right? What are your opinions about that?
Yeah,
so you're
that's
grinning,
true.
right?
That's true. But my first topic was about database designing. That's never old.
Yeah,
so it's
right.
always the same. Okay, it also talks about data modeler, which has changed quite a lot since 2015 when it came out. But the book came out 2015. But it hasn't changed that much because the designing work is still the same. So I think that's still valid.
Still valid, yeah.
And the second one is about SQL and PL SQL. Where would that go? There's a lot of new features coming, but the old features are still there, so it's still okay.
Yeah.
Then the two other books are about machine learning. The first one about machine learning to Oracle professionals. So that introduces how Oracle is handling machine learning. So what kind of tools you have and how to use them and so on. Well, that's still valid, but there's much more tools available now than there were at the time.
Yeah, sure.
And then the latest one with Adrian Ping is about Apex.
Oh yeah,
So-
Apex is never all too, right?
Yeah, it's never old. Apex is young forever. No, seriously, that's interesting because we are talking about Apex, OCI, machine learning, all that kind of things. So as an Apex developer, what should you know about OCI? What should you know about machine learning and so on? So I don't think it will be old very soon.
Yeah, I mean, I have my own history with that because there was Jürgen Sieben writing a book about Apex, like the big compendium of everything with Apex, and I was asked to write the chapter about mobile. And it was right before the universal theme was released. And there were rumors and saying, okay, you have one theme for everything. It was responsible. And I just wrote like pages about the mobile theme, jQuery mobile stuff back then. And at the time when the book was released, the universal theme with Apex 5 was there and it was outdated. Just the passage where I was saying, I guess there might be a theme which is completely fully responsive to smaller screens, and there might be something cooler than what you're reading right now. And
Yes.
it happened, right? So
Yes.
this is my opinion. That's the reason why I'm never...
I have similar things there as well that
Yeah.
have already outdated. But
I mean, you can update that. You can have a sequel of the book, and you can talk about the newer stuff. And if you switch over to universal theme, for example, you might have luck for the next couple of years that your book is still up to date, right?
Yeah.
But are you just writing books, or do you write blog posts or like online media?
I used to. I have a blog, but I haven't had any time to write lately. So I'm always planning I will start writing again, but then I'm too busy with everything else.
Yeah, you have to be continuous working on that
Yeah.
blog, right? So
Yes.
that's the difference exactly. So if you're writing a book, you're just having your time whenever you have it, right? And then write your texts and chapters, and at some time the book is complete and you can publish that.
Yeah.
If you open a new blog and you're just writing a new article and then a few months nothing, then it's not a good blog, right? So we're on the same page with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you already said machine learning. I will not out myself as not into that topic. Maybe you can use easy words for me and for our listeners, maybe for people who are not familiar with machine learning. What's the essence of machine learning? How far are we already? And how should I start learning about machine learning if I want so?
Yeah, the question of how far is a difficult question because it depends on how you measure it.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a lot of cool things happening at the moment at the area. So ChatGPT and so on, all these kind of things. So they are cool, but they are a little bit. I worry a little bit because people don't realize that they are actually giving their data away when they use this kind of tools. So they don't realize that actually the code that they ask the tool to build for them includes some actually highly confidential information about their database or their data or something like that. So that kind of worries me a bit. And secondly, it's not a genius. It's just a tool that produces words, a text. So it can just be giving you references to documentation or packages or whatever that don't even exist.
Yeah,
So,
I heard about that too. Yeah.
yeah, so it happens very easily. So it gets confused quite easily because it's not really that intelligence. But we are going to that way all the time. So now we have GPT-4, we have other things that are already available, not just the three that I was mentioning earlier. But I think we are very far with it, but not as far as people seem to think.
Okay.
So it's not as intelligent as some people think it is. But yes, I think machine learning is something that everybody should know about. So if you don't know about it, you are losing a lot. So
yeah, we are talking about ML, and nowadays when we talk about ChatGPT and so on, everyone is talking about AI. And I think everyone should know that one is not the same as the other, I think, but the groundwork beyond that might be the same, right? So we had a couple of episodes about the ChatGPT stuff and the GitHub Copilot and everything that is possible today for our vision, right? So you're typing some text and you get answers, and how impressive is this? And this is the way why people are getting their hands on machine learning parts, just a little bit, the tip of the iceberg. But I'm interested how you can use machine learning in a corporate environment, not just for the end user who's writing text and gets some documentation summarized or something. And I think you could give us some insight how you can use machine learning to, bring your corporate business logic to better result.
So probably your data is in Oracle database, I assume.
Sure.
So then you have plenty of options. So we have machine learning in the database. You're able to do it with SQL and PL SQL. You're able to do it with Python, and you're able to do it with R. So you can create, you can train, you can use any kind of models from the database, just like that. But how you can do it, you can use PL SQL packages, which is something that you probably like because you are familiar with PL SQL.
Yeah.
But if you're not, there are other options as well. So you can use the thing called AutoML, which is a quite simple tool in the Oracle Cloud infrastructure. So you just select the data set that you're going to use, and you define what's the target that you want to predict. Let's say you want to predict affinity card, for example, one of the classical examples. So will this customer take an affinity card or not? So you select that as a target. Then you select this a classification problem. Then you define the ID, the identifier of the customer. And that's about it. You press start the process, and it will create you the models. So for each algorithm it has in a database. So for classification, it has plenty of algorithms. For each algorithm and for your data set, it creates a model. So you will have as many models as algorithms you chose. And based on the metrics that you have chosen, so it gives you a list of possible metrics that are for classification problem. You choose one metric, and based on this metric, it will just put them in order. So the first one is the best, and so on and so on. You can also add more metrics if this one doesn't tell you enough, or maybe two is just the same. You can add more metrics and compare those to each other and decide which one is the one that you want to use. And you just deploy it.
Just click and just provide everything. That sounds way too easy for me.
It is super easy. And all these models that it creates are stored in a database. So from Apex perspective, it's very easy to call them. You just use the apply procedure to call them.
Okay.
Very simple.
So, and how do you train those models afterwards? So you just say AutoML. You told me the classification starts, the models are being created, and then it's working on the real data we have, and which will grow and grow and grow, right? And then this model will grow also.
Yes, and Oracle also have now new tools for actually following both the model and the data. So if the model changes too much, it will tell you, and you need to train it more. Or if the data changes so that the model is not good for that data anymore, it will also warn you about that.
Okay.
So that's kind of a new thing. Now it's only in a way that you have to call yourself, but I'm sure it's going to be like a service that you just go and click, like AutoML. That's probably coming soon. So that is very useful.
That sounds promising. Maybe we have a deep dive in the 23C database, which just came out, and we had a talk with Jared Wenzel, which was the last episode, and he said there are many nice new features, and if we are expecting some more regarding ML, that should be in there, I think. So you talked about different tools we have to use that. Now the question in the Oracle environment. Is this
Yes.
for free in your database
Yeah,
license,
the
or do you
database
have
is
to put
free.
on top?
Yes, the
Yeah.
one that is in database is for free. And also AutoML is for free.
Okay.
But there's also services that are not for free, like a data science service, which is a Python environment in the OCI, where you can just build your machine learning models using your favorite Python libraries.
Oh, great.
So that's actually quite interesting. And then you can publish those environments and your models and whatever you want to publish from there, and you can use them from other tools from Oracle. Like if you publish Conda environment, you can import that to Oracle database, so you will have this Conda environment in your database. Or if you have a model that you will publish from there, you can call it from other tools as well.
So you can exchange the environments with everything you achieved.
Yes, yeah. I think the coolest thing with Oracle environment is that you can just integrate all your tools easily to each other. So you can use whatever is the best for this particular use case. You can just use this, and it's not wasted. You can use it from others as well. And one of the payable tools is also Analytics Cloud, Oracle Analytics Cloud. That can also do AutoML nowadays. It can do all kind of machine learning things. Actually, I will talk about that tomorrow. So there's so many machine learning things in Analytics Cloud, which is good because that's the tool for the business people as well. Kind of the people who understand the data, not just technology. Well, they are probably not too techies, but they understand the data. So this is a tool for them to be able to use machine learning, either the models that the data scientist has created in the database, so they can use those models with their data, or they can use AutoML or some other functionalities in OAC to create their own models.
And just adjust what they need to be changed for their reason. Okay, so I'm as always. When I hear about new special technology, I have the technology, I want to try it, and then I'm searching for a use case, right? So I think you need very big data sets to use ML very properly, or
not
or
really. Not really. Actually, if you think about it, more important is that your data set has good quality data than that you have billions of rows of data. So if you have a lot of data that is not good quality, it's actually bad for machine learning because it's learning different wrong things.
So how do I get information about the quality of my data? So I know it from a different perspective. If I have good data, you have the third normal form. I don't know if the exact translation of that, but you have everything in place, a good data model for proper use in Apex application or something. Is it also good for machine learning automatically, or do you have a view on data modeling that you might have some ML in the future? So you just get some best practices in there.
Yeah, one of the biggest things is nulls. So if your application allows nulls, you might end up having a lot of nulls in your database. So what's the point? Because it doesn't tell anything. So that's probably the biggest problem with this kind of things. Another problem I often see is that you have a column that you have used for a purpose, and one day you are just too lazy to add a new column, so you start using the same column for another purpose. So the data
breaks
is
the model completely, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So the data is not consistent throughout the time. So that kind of things can really affect badly.
Do we have another example for us where you personally used ML to reach a goal in a project?
Well, actually, there's several use cases where machine learning has been used. It depends on your business where it's most useful. But if you want to start with AutoML, which is the easy path, you have two things to do. You can do classification problems or regression. Classification is that you put things into classes. Like, for example, if you are sending offers to your customers, you can predict which of these will end up with a deal and which will not end up with a deal. So you can put more effort to those that you know that most likely will end up goodly and not badly.
That sounds so surreal to me that a machine will give me information about how a customer reacts. I think that my customers, that I can have a very good view on how they will react on what I'm sending them. How does a machine do that?
Yes.
and that's a magical moment. I do not know if I can trust something like that, because I don't know how this works, how this machine is predicting something based on what I'm giving it. So maybe you can help me with that.
Yes. So that's a thing that people want to see. Why was this customer chosen as not potential?
Okay.
And you can see it from the data. So why did the model make this decision? So that's something the model tells you if you so want. Or why was this customer chosen as a potential customer? But the truth is that model is never 100% sure. And if you end up with a model that claims to be 100% sure, you can be sure that it's not true. There's something very fishy there.
So what you are doing is that you are feeding information into the system, which is telling, I was sending this offer to the customer. Those are the metrics of the customer, for example. And if something, or if this offer is not being successful to the customer, I'm giving the information into the system, and the system itself decides for the next customer if it's the same condition, or how can I just imagine?
The model is built using the features, like in a database, the columns. So what do you know about a customer? So based on this customer information, the model creates ideas about what features are the ones that are important for this decision. So, for example, if the customer is already our customer, it's probably a feature that will have high impact on the decision, and so on. So based on these features, it decides if this customer is potential or not. So it's not the name of the customer or anything that defines if the deal will be closed or not. It's the features. So customers who are similar to this have been signing the contract.
Okay.
And customers who are very much similar to the other side are those who will not sign the contract. So your job is to find these features that will tell enough about the customer for the model to make the prediction. Most likely the first time you try, it will not give you good predictions because you don't have enough features about the customer. You have to add more data.
Sure.
What kind of customers these were. So in your data set, you have customers who ended up doing the deal and customers who did not. And based on this, it builds the model. And if this data that you used for building the model is not good enough, or it doesn't have enough information, the model is not working.
Okay. So we have things like the size of a company, the geolocation of the company, maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
And as much columns I have, as the better the model will be in the predictions afterwards. Okay.
And also the columns that you have, you might need to transform them somehow. So maybe a classical example is about predicting the house price, which is, by the way, regression. So we were talking about classification. Another very typical use case is regression. So for regression, we are trying to predict numbers, like, for example, the house price. So how much would I get from my house if I sell it? So one example of transformation is like, if I know my GPD coordinates for the house, so this is where it locates, it means nothing.
Okay.
What do you do with the coordinates? You can't compare, like, your coordinates are higher than mine. So what?
Sure.
It doesn't affect the price. But you can transform the coordinates to something more useful, like location, like it's in the city center, in a very popular area, or it's by the beach or by the lake or in the middle of the forest, in the middle of nowhere, no services close by. You can transform it something like that, and then it's useful for the model. So the model can say that this is in a it's high-end area, good area, price is higher. This is in the middle of nowhere, the price is lower.
So that's the way our future looks like, right? So if you have any like ImmoScout, a company who's just rating the different prices for locations you can move in, and then if every single customer or every single company is using ML in future to predict how good this location or how good this house will be on the market and how good to sell it, that would be way easier than one guy who's just estimating that, right?
Yes.
I'm saying that.
And also, if you think about from your business side, if all your competitors are doing this and you are not, who's going to win the competition?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, because you still have the people with their pen and paper and they are trying to do things. And those are just pressing a button and the machine is doing so many things 24/7.
Yeah. I mean, but there have to be people to understand that, right?
Absolutely.
You cannot let the machine do and trust on it.
The worst is if you let the machine do it and trust it, because then probably the data is completely wrong. It's not transformed correctly for the model, or for the transformation from data algorithm to the model. So it's transformed wrongly to the model. The model is doing something completely different. Classical example. So there was a model that was predicting if the picture is of a dog or a wolf, And it was really accurate. People were like amazed. How can it be so accurate? But instead of really knowing if it's a dog or a wolf, it actually knew it's a grass or it's snow. So wolves were on the snow and dogs were on the grass.
Yeah.
So when there was a dog on the snow, it was saying it's a wolf, and it didn't even look like a wolf.
Yeah.
So like, what are you doing? So the machine learned wrong things. You were thinking it learned right things because it was always correct until the day.
Sure.
So you can never be sure what it actually learns unless you check what it learns. So why are you making your decisions like this?
So you would go so far to say this machine learning models and the old technology around that should just assist human people, human beings to reach their goals. It should just assist and not be the core of your company or your goal, right?
Yes, it should be assisting you, and you make the decisions based on what you get.
That's a great.
If the decisions are crazy, like one of my favorite examples is that when I went to Los Angeles, it started raining. I have been there once and it rained.
Yeah.
So the computer would say 100% sure that when Heli lands to Los Angeles, it starts raining. Because it's not very common that it rains in Los Angeles. They asked actually me to come back because of my super skills.
Yeah.
So it started raining. So the machine would say that if you want Los Angeles to have rain, let Heli come here and it will rain.
Yeah.
So this kind of decisions would be nonsense because the computer doesn't have common sense. It only has the data and the algorithm, and it comes to a conclusion. But if the data is, because there's only one row saying Heli Los Angeles rain, it's a fact.
Yeah,
so
right.
It's not. But if you see outside, it's raining. So I might have skills.
Yeah, I mean, we are in Oslo right now, in end of April, and it's now snowing outside, right? So maybe there's some conclusion on that too, that Heli is moving.
I have super skills.
Traveling to San Francisco, it rains, and you're traveling to Oslo, and it snows.
Yeah, could be. Who knows? Maybe the computer knows better than we.
We will see. We'll see what the future brings us and how this evolves. So. Another topic I want to talk about is one thing that is mentioned as a special project for us in our preparation. It's about the tracking of COVID-19 exposures in Finland. This sounds so amazing for me, what I read about that. Maybe you can just talk about that and tell us, what did you do for this COVID tracking in Finland?
That was a fun project. That really was. So I got a message in Twitter. So somebody I used to work with like 20 years ago, he sent me a message that we are trying to track COVID cases in Finland, and we are using a blog and an Excel sheet, but it doesn't seem to work anymore because COVID is growing. And this is too many cases for our technology. So do you know anybody who could help us? And we have zero budget. And I was like, okay, that was 11 in the evening or something like that. I said, okay, let me sleep now and I will get back to you in the morning. So in the morning, I sent him a message. I said, yes, we'll do it for you. We will use the Oracle Cloud, which is free. And I will ask people who would volunteer to help with this. So we'll use Apex and we will build you a system. And that's what we did. So 10 days later, we went to production. So
10 days, yeah, that's a typical success story of Apex, right?
Yes. So we have two applications actually. We have the one for those volunteers who enter the data. So they have their own credentials. So everybody is using their own credentials when they log in and they enter the data. And then we have another application that is open for everybody. So anybody can go and see the COVID cases, so where they are and so on and so on. And for me, the best thing was, well, okay, after the 10 days, we've been improving it. So it was just the first release. My part was the spatial thing, because I love the multimodal database. I love having graph and spatial and all these kind of things in one single database. So I wanted to do the spatial. And so I did all kind of maps for us to be visualizing where are the hotspots in Finland for COVID. Now we don't track in Finland anymore because it's just like that. But if you want to go to the website, you can go and you just select dates that are like a year ago and you can see how it works. But it was a very fun project, really.
It's a second project I heard around this pandemic topic that Apex just did a really good job, right?
It did. And OCI free tier as well. And actually... the local news announced this webpage one evening. And since the 2 hours from the news, it was 10 o'clock, From 10 to midnight, we had 300,000 users in the web page, free
Wow.
tier web page.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was sweating. So me and one of my people who was also working on that, we were just messaging with WhatsApp to each other. I'm dying. What's going on now? What's going on? It worked.
Does it scale automatically even on the free tier, right?
Yeah, it works very well. So we were like, whew, because you never know what happens. Because
Yeah, sure.
300,000 is a lot in 2 hours.
Yeah, sure.
So that was a sweaty evening.
Yeah, sure, of course. But I mean, if you do something just out of nowhere, like, yes, I can do so, and you just use 10 days to build an application with 300,000 users in the first 2 hours.
Yeah.
I can just imagine how proud you should be about that.
Yeah,
So
that was great.
that's
And we
great.
learned so much also about Apex and about many other things. So it was a very educational project.
And you were just mentioned by in the blogs of Oracle, right? They used that for promotion, of course.
Yes.
But it's sort of like tracking COVID-19 exposures in Finland using Oracle Cloud to develop an exposure tracking app in 10 days. So this was like the best promotion for the cloud, right?
Yes.
That's the thing. Yes.
And I was so proud about my people. So the volunteers who worked on this were from my company, and they did it on their own time. So,
That's the motivation behind the Apex community, right?
Yes.
How many people worked on that application then?
We were actually, I think the maximum was 4, but most of us was 2 or 3.
Yeah,
most of the time.
And there wasn't time for a big setup, right? And get everything in place properly, like a good project. It's just, okay, we need to do it. We need to do it now. And Apex is a perfect platform to get even good results out of that.
Yes, luckily we knew Apex beforehand, so we didn't have to start from the scratch.
Yeah, sure.
So
but the good
helped
data
a lot.
model should be in place,
Yes,
right?
it should.
Exactly. Yes. So let's talk about this conference right here. Maybe you can tell us what are you talking about the conference at the conference here?
Yes. So first, I have 3 presentations here. The first one was about AutoML and AI services. So AI services is also a payable thing, but it doesn't really cost much. It's really cheap to use. There's different kind of services for different use cases, like document recognition or image recognition or object detection, that kind of things. So you can use the pre-trained models, just put your own picture there and it will do the trick for you. And if it's not good enough, you can always use the pre-trained model and train it further with your own data. And these AI services you can call from Apex, from Data Science Service, for Analytics Cloud, any of the other tools, you can just call these services, either the pre-trained or the ones that you have further trained. I don't know what's the right word, so I use further trained now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, that's all right.
That describes what it is. So first I was talking about those. And I had my younger son with me here. So he was co-presenting with me. He's also working for me now. Yeah, he's been working for a year now. So he's been doing Apex, he's been doing OCI, all kind of machine learning things, and especially a kind of Raspberry Pi, Coral, that kind of thing. So
I have a few questions about that, but maybe go ahead and then I will ask the questions how it should be, how it is to work for his own mother in the company.
Yes. And then the other presentation we just finished with my son was about AutoML. So AutoML as it is in OCI, but also as it is in Analytics Cloud. And later today, we talk about Analytics Cloud and what kind of machine learning capabilities it actually has. So 3 presentations.
3 presentations, 2 of them with your son or all 3?
I think he will be also on the last one.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So there are so many questions I have. So how is it to be the boss of your own son in a company?
Yeah, the first question is, how is it to be boss for your own husband? Because my husband also works for the company.
Oh, that sounds like a great combination in family life, right?
Yeah.
So is it hard for you to separate the job and the private time?
Well, sometimes it might be. Because my husband is also a share owner of the company. That's easier because we have common interest on the company and all that kind of thing. So that helps a lot. And besides, when we met, we were working also together. So we have always been working together. So I think that's not an issue. But with the son, it's a little bit more difficult because then you have so many hats to wear, you know.
Sure, yeah. So when mom is putting the hat on.
Yeah.
She's my boss, and
Yeah.
she talks the other way around,
Yes.
and not the same as my mom.
And I
would do.
warned him when he joined the company. I said, I'm going to be really tough because
Yeah.
I demand a lot from everybody, but I'm afraid I will demand more from you since you're my
Yeah.
son. And I just have to tell you now before you start, so you know what to expect.
But it's a great start in the working life, right? So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
he doesn't have to find a good job or find the right place. I mean, he might have been into your work already and knew what will come in this company, what he will
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But is this his free will to come to this
Yes.
conference and
Yes.
talk, or are you
Yes.
pushing him?
No, he wanted to come. He
Yeah,
likes
that's-
presenting too.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's was a question of mine because it's a one thing that someone is presenting for his own likelihood. Like I want to present right now. I want to try it. Or if it's hey, go present. It will be your thing. You're a good speaker. You should do that. And it's okay. I'm going to this conference and talk. And
Yeah.
I want to make sure that
he likes presenting. My elder son doesn't like. I don't think he would like to go and present, but the younger one does. And he was actually presenting with me last summer already. We went to the EMEA leaders meeting, and he was presenting there about this COVID application.
Yeah. Yeah, great. So, I mean, he's learning from the best, right? So he was practicing his part of the talk with you, and
Yeah.
I'm sure that this goes out very well. So he's going to present on multiple conferences in future alone,
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Yeah.
the path is already made, and he will be in this universe, in this galaxy with us in a further thing.
I hope so.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm very looking forward to see more of him in the upcoming future. So I will go over to our categories. Those are very often asked to our guests to have some insight of yourself. So let me start with the category hypothetically. So if you could undo one technological trend in the past, what would it be?
Undo a trend.
It could be everything, right? It could be software, it could be hardware, it could be like cars, electric cars or something like that.
I don't think I would undo anything.
Nothing to undo.
No, I think everything is good because if it's a mistake, you just have to fix it.
Yeah,
You don't have to undo, you just fix it.
Yeah, great. So everyone is thinking about, what should I say about that? But yeah, just don't undo anything.
Yeah, just fix it.
Just fix it and make it better.
Yeah, that's because one of my super skills is making fast decisions, and that's the kind of same thing. So I make decisions very quickly, and if it's a wrong decision, I change it. So I kind of
You fix it before someone else
Yeah.
just made the decision, right?
yeah.
Okay, so if you will not, if you don't want to make something unhappened or undo something, what would you like to invent or create in the technology sector, which was not invented before?
I think what is missing from this field is probably human skills. So I think that's something that we could add more. So people are good with their job. They know the technology super well, but they are not very good with other people. So I think kind of getting more respect and understanding of other opinions and that kind of things would be a good thing.
That's one part. Many conferences, and I for myself can talk for Apex Connect, for example, where I'm working in the organization team. We are trying to get as many soft skill presentations in as possible because it's not always the most important thing to just have this technological part of the conference and you learn software stuff or programmatically stuff, but you also learn how to deal with like hypersensible people, how to work with other-minded people, maybe just work together and how to respect their opinions and so on. That's a very great point. So additionally, do you have anything in your mind for the future, what you want to deal with? Like now you're in the ML universe, right? And you have so many topics we are talking about, like data modeling back in the days, and then now ML. Is there any untouched topic for you would like to learn more in future?
Well, anything to do with data. That's what I love to do. So probably what would like to work on next is analytics cloud. So I have been working with it and I have my certificates and everything, but I would like to learn further with that. So kind of understanding data better and being able to teach people to understand their data better. So I think that would be the next thing.
And there will be data forever, right?
There will be data forever.
It's getting more and more, and everything is relying on data today. Great. Wow. So, I mean, additionally to that, I have another question from that. It builds up perfectly. So what would you estimate? What will your daily work look like in 10 years? It's just training models or just revisiting or reviewing results from machine learning algorithms and models?
I love the question because I don't even know tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty good.
Yeah, my work is always a surprise because I work in so many areas. So like now I have several projects. I have an XLCC migration. I have a data model project. I have machine learning projects, several machine learning projects. I'm running the company. I'm presenting. I'm writing books. I'm working on my PhD, so hopefully I will finish that one day. So I have kind of many things that are. So what I'm doing most of the time is prioritize things. So how do you manage the next day?
I mean, we can summarize on the point that your daily work in 10 years would look like the same as today, but with a PhD, right?
Yes. That's how it would be.
Great. So the next category is in private. So are you satisfied with your work-life balance? This might be something you already told with your family structure, that everyone is working in the same area, even in the same company, right? Are you happy with the work-life balance? Can you shut off from work? Like now work is done for today and I'm just...
Yeah, I have a problem here because my work is my hobby.
Yeah,
I kind of love this work.
You might guess this is the most heard answer in this podcast, in this category, because everyone is saying that.
Yeah,
I might refer to Mike Becker, who was in I think the episode before the last one. He was saying I don't have a work-life balance. I'm having a work-life blending. It's not a balance. It's just seeing what is currently more important to me, and I'm seeing that how my life is basically in my work. It's everything inside. It's everything blended, right?
Yeah.
So I was guessing that. So if you are owning a successful company, you don't have that much life between, so separately from work. But if you see your work as part of your like free time and life and hobby stuff, that it's I think the most sufficient thing. So another question from in private. Would you show us your screen time on your iPhone without blushing? So don't say you don't have an iPhone, because this answer was said. Okay. So are you the type of person who's just constantly watching on the screen?
Well, I work a lot from my phone for some reason. So a lot of things I do from my phone. So I could say that 50% phone, 50% laptop or something like that. But this phone is not peeping all the time, as you can hear. There's no sound, so it's been silent since many years. So it's not making any sounds. This is completely quiet. But my Apple Watch is giving me the sounds.
Constantly vibrating, right?
Yes, but not from emails. So I have emails quiet. So I don't get notifications for emails. So if you want to reach me fast, you have to use WhatsApp, Signal.
Yeah, the messaging.
Yeah, one of these. Or Twitter private message. Those I get, but everything else is muted. So I will read them when I have the time, but otherwise I don't.
Great. So this leads me to the consumption part, the consumption category of my questions. So I mean, you answered that already. So how do you deal with the growing flood of information via various channels? News and information are coming in frequently. So you say that your phone is basically muted. It's the same on my phone. I don't even know how my ringtone is sounding like. I don't know. Yeah. So you said your messaging apps are coming to your Apple Watch and you see it quite instantly. Do you have any news apps or some like breaking news and everything just to be ahead of time? No,
I go and see news when I have the time. Usually in the mornings I start with news. I see Twitter, so I have in my feed, I have some news, and then I might go to some newspaper pages to read more about
just to have this time to read and to update yourself, and then the rest of the day you will not be notified about that. That's quite healthy, I think.
Yeah.
So, and how do you consume news and new knowledge, for example? So, reading newspapers or news pages, but how do you consume new knowledge? Is it newsletters, like Twitter, reading books or magazines or
everything?
Everything.
Everything. So I try to follow so many areas because I don't have just one specific area that I do, because I do so many things. So there's a lot to follow. So I either read the articles in the morning, during lunch break, during coffee break, during the breaks, or I email them to myself and I read when I have time.
Yeah, this is a strategy I tried in the past too, but I was never reading the things
me either.
I say for later, right? And then at some point I was using the service. It was called Read It Later, and then later on it was called Pocket. And in every browser and app you can share over the share sheet and say, put it in my pocket. And my pocket grows and grows and grows. And at some point, I was just reading, okay, you have like 1,600 articles to read. And I just began with the oldest one. I said, okay, I don't need that inside knowledge about Oracle 11G right now, because news is out there already in 23. So this is something I tried and it never worked to read something later. So unless I'm not consuming it right now, it will pass and I will catch up with the news one.
It's usually better to read immediately. But if it's a good article, then I email it to myself and I put the title, something that I can just search by the title.
And then you have to remember that this is something you want to read and not just, okay, put it there. There might be some time to read it. Just, no, I will read that next week, for example, right?
Yeah.
All right. So the last question from the consumption category. Do you turn off your phone, your Apple Watch off at night? Or are you always reachable?
I'm never reachable during the night because this is muted.
Yeah.
This phone is muted and I don't have my watch when I sleep.
Yeah,
So,
okay. Even as a CEO of a successful company, you're not reachable at all time, right?
No.
Great.
I need to sleep. If I don't sleep, I will be angry and nobody wants to work with me. So it's much better I sleep.
Okay, I would say do it like this in the future. So I was really enjoying talking to you, Heli. Thank you for joining us at Devs on Tape, and we will be happy for a second part maybe in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have so much topics to talk about, and it will not fit in this one recording. So thank you very much, and have a nice further conference.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.